Welcome and namaste. Here are some exercises that I do that are very functional and also helps to strengthen the hips and gets the hips mobilized. It's also using a lot of the core muscles and are very natural in movement. Okay, the first one is going to be just simply crawling, just warming up, okay? So you can go from side to side and you do a 10 of each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 10. And reversing. And then we're going to go forward, just warming it up. Depending on the length of your room, you can go back and forward. Just focus on the way that you're moving. Okay, pressing the hands down. See what muscles you're using. Are you connecting your abdominal muscles, your hips? How are your hands being connected in relation to the knee coming forward? Is it opposite hands and legs as you're moving forward and back? So take your time and look at the connection of the whole body. This is why I like these exercises. Okay, this is just warming up the entire group, the body. Okay, now we're going to come into a squat position. We're just going to warm up the feet. Okay, so I'm just rolling forward and back. Okay, so you want to get onto your heel and then spread your toes, heels. You can find your balance by just letting go whenever you feel like. Okay, see how you're feeling. Just drop your shoulders down and back. Find your balance. If you need to go back onto the ground, touch the ground, bring the heel down, spreading the toes out, stretching the toes, feeling your arches, pressing it down. You can use your fingertips. You can also get your hands up, shoulders back and down. Use your abdominal muscles here. Contract them, your hips, draw them in, and just find your place here. Okay, just move from left to right, whichever way you feel comfortable. Spreading the toes. You just want to loosen up the hips. And if you do this, practice this regularly, you'll find that you're going to find more mobility. You may not be able to come down so much, or maybe your heels are not touching the ground, but with practice, okay, you'll get better. Spread your toes, press your heels, use the full feet as if you're using your hands, okay? Spread your toes. Widen your stance leg if you need to. Get your hands in between your legs. See how you're feeling. And then just go with the flow of what you can do and what you can't. Okay? Pressing the heel down and then maybe try walking, spreading the toes. Walking here, heels, balls of the feet, push in, then go back. Okay, finding your space. You could take your hand off and just inch your way back. Then inch your way forward. And just work up and down again, finding the space. Spread your toes, line your toes, draw your abs in tight, and then push, come up, and let's go back to crawling. Okay, we're just going to work back on the sagittal plane. We're going to come forward, just to bring the hips back into line. We're going to go back and forward. So we dealt with external rotation around the hip socket, and I just want to bring the hips back to the front, okay, by moving it sagittally. Just that means we're just going forward and we're going back. Forward and then back. Okay, we're going to go then sideways, just working the hips along the frontal plane by moving sideways. So this is helping with hip mobility because we looked at some external rotation around the hip when we were doing in the squatting and internal rotation, and now we're working on the frontal plane movement of the hip sockets, going from side to side. Then on the sagittal plane, we're moving back and then forward. Back and forward. Okay, now we're going to do some bear crawls, which means that we're going to move forward and back again on the sagittal plane, and it's going to help to strengthen the hips. It's also working on the abdominal muscles and also your arms, so it's a whole body workout. So if you come up, depending on the size of your room, we're just going to encourage the body to tread carefully with the heels down, balls of the feet, and then go back. Again, strengthening the entire body as well as encouraging movement in the frontal plane, up on the sagittal plane as we go forward and back. We're going to also do this sideways. And sideways again. And come back down. Okay, if we do the squat, again, we're just going to work now on the external rotation here by moving out and then moving out here. Moving out, so we're and then out. Going back. You can play around with this and see how you can move your hips out, okay, and then back. And forward, 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 and then back, 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 forward, and forward. Okay, so stretching your hips is also strengthening it, and you're also having to use your lower abdominals. And also, it's stretching your feet and your toes. Let me know how you get on with this. And if you have any comments, let me know. If you like the video, don't forget to like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And I'll be back with some more exercises on strengthening the hips. Namaste.